Good morning and welcome to the Monday Morning Marketing Podcast. My name is Melanie.
Oh, and I'm Esther.
Glad you remembered.
It's too early.
And today I'm going to be speaking with Esther and our good friend Barbara Edwards, who are going to be starting a new service called the SuperStarVA.com. But first this. We know how hard it is to juggle all the things in your business, accounts, meetings, the never-ending inbox. That's why we've teamed up with Agorapulse to give you more than 5 hours back a week when it comes to managing your social media marketing. No more complicated Excel docs, long emails, or millions of open tabs, although I have currently several hundred here. Simply manage all of your social media channels in one place. Go to www.agorapulse.com/Monday Morning Marketing to get 1 month free. Now all you need to do is figure out how you want to spend those 5 hours, possibly with a virtual assistant. So first up, Barbara, let me pick on you because you look more vulnerable at the moment. So what made you think of the Superstar VA?
Good morning, Melanie, and thank you so much. I tell you, I was actually in conversation with somebody in the States, and they wanted me to do some training for them. And they run an agency with a few VAs. And as our conversation developed, and I was trying to nail down on the training and pinpoint different things, I realized that there was a massive skills shortage within their group. So we developed the training around that. And when I left that conversation, then it was kind of playing on my mind that it's really only in the last few years that the world of the VA has really come to the fore. And I suppose this year, 2020, big time, because a lot of people at home and a lot of people now out of work. And I was rummaging through my mind, as I do, how and what could I do. So even with between my marketing background, my teaching background, and the coaching, I kind of said, right, well, I put some trainings together. So I would say it was probably about 11 p.m, midnight, usually when those ideas kind of come to your head. And I got on to Esther and I said, guess what? I have an idea.
And I always know when Barbara has an idea, it means that I turn into tech support.
And that's how the Superstar VA was born.
Gotcha. So what kind of skills are you going to be helping people with? What's the skill set? Go on, Esther.
There are so many that a VA needs, but not every VA needs every single one of them. So you have your general time management, you have your bookkeeping skills. I mean, for yourself, for a VA to be able to send out invoices for a client and to be able to do different bank reconciliations for a client, building up a contract and how a VA should start. Basically, that'll be our starting point. How to start off as a VA, what you need to have in place before somebody can hire you as a VA, and that will include being self-employed, registering with your local government agency to be self-employed. It'll all starting from the most basic all the way through managing social media, managing client calls, managing a diary. It's a lot about how to help other people in your VA journey.
And so is this something that you've been formulating with Barbara, or are you just, as you say, tech support, or are you also combining efforts mentally as well?
Yeah, we're combining efforts mentally, and I'll be giving some of the courses as well when it comes to especially web design and setting up a website for yourself, running your social media, running other people's social media, basic stuff, because it's just to get people started. Because when somebody says, oh, I'm a VA, what does that actually mean?
And that was where that was part of our conversation, because VA from PA, as we would have understood it a few years ago, was, you could walk to somebody in their office beside you and say, oh, can you do this? Can you do that? But research from the World Economic Forum there recently showed that employers now want 96% of them want their staff to be learning constantly as they are going through their work process. Now, 2 years ago, that figure was about between 60 and 64%. So in this 2-year period, employers want staff to be learning on the go. And whether that staff member, and I use staff in inverted commas because the VA is offsite and they can be anywhere in the world, they still want to know that they are keeping their skills up to date, that, technology is moving so fast, systems are moving so fast, platforms are moving so fast that they are constantly updating, and they know what way their market is working, and they know, especially in the area, as Esther was saying there, social media, even analytics. Can you read the analytics? Do you know if the ad is working for your client who you're working for, who you're taking a contract on for? Have you taken on a contract that is maybe too big for you and now you're lost halfway through it and you don't know how to manage what else is coming up? These are all the kind of things.
That's actually a really good question, Barbara. Do you help people understand how to work as a contract VA as well?
Yes, we will help you be a VA and also help the businesses that want to hire a VA know how to outsource. This is one of the things, and even Barbara noticed this herself recently when we hired a VA, and she had an awful time letting go. She couldn't let go. It was one of these, but what can I ask her to do? What can I, and it was also through that process that we're able to build these courses more robustly as well. And because it comes from personal experience as well. I mean,
and that's it.
Yeah,
to see it from both sides. Sorry, Esther, for jumping in on you there.
No, you're grand. Here in IPA Group, we've always had off-site workers, but they've not always been called VAs, because they have one specific skill set. You wouldn't ask the graphic designer to go and write a Word document or blog about something. So everybody had their skill set, but a VA can incorporate so many more of those skill sets, but not all VAs can do all of them. And they shouldn't have to. There are VAs that only specify or only help with bookkeeping, or only VAs that can only help with law, or the VAs that can only help with social media.
Well, they all have their niches, don't they? That
exactly.
Reminds me of a podcast.
Oh, it does, doesn't it?
Yes, absolutely. And even, some might be more comfortable in specific industries as opposed to even just niching down on themselves. So some, as Esther said, say within the area of law or whatever, they're comfortable working within that sector, where they may not be as comfortable, say, working in the pharmaceutical sector because the language is different. So even in that in itself, that they can understand from within the courses how each course is going to help them move, because the courses are broad and they will work within any sector. So it's being able to relate what you learn to your own sector so as that you are improving yourself.
Okay, so give us an idea of the type of audience that you're targeting, and are there different levels of training? So is it only suitable for beginners, or will the more advanced VA be able to get something from this, Barbara?
No, it is either, obviously it is designed there. There are courses there for the beginner, as we said. As Esther mentioned earlier, how do you become a VA? So, what kind of skills are needed within that, or what areas should, I cover that? What platforms do I use? What do I need? What do you do with Google? What do you do, with all these platforms, and how do they work? So from the beginner right up to those who are saying, well, do you know what? I think maybe now it is time to either I did a talk before about using your skill set, just use it differently. So what skill set have you got that you could actually fall into this area of working as a VA? And don't forget that working as a VA, you can be anywhere in the world.
Yeah, exactly. And any age. I mean, this year especially, a lot of people have become unemployed, like Barbara was saying earlier. So they're looking for other ways to get income, and that, they're a good place to start would be to upskill, whether you end up being a VA or whether you end up using these new skills in another job. It's there's no sort of limit that way, and there's no age limit, from, well, like I was saying to our VA, as long as you're still in school, even if you're still in school and you keep up with your studies, do this as well, because then it'll give you life skills as well for whenever you do finish school, uni, tech, whatever you're in, right the way up. I mean, it'll be for everybody, men and women. I mean,
I was just going to say, it's not just for women.
No, it's not gender bias, is it?
No, definitely not.
Now, can a VA do this part-time, or does it have to be a full-time role?
No, VA is definitely a flexible system. I mean, the beauty actually of being a VA is that you can set your own hours and your own workload, and how many tasks, clients, and work that you decide to take on. So somebody might be starting off, say, well, I have Fridays free. I'll just do it on a Friday, or I'm free between 9 and 2, say, for example. I'll just do it on those hours, and that's fine. So you might decide then to offer a client, well, I can give you 4 hours a week. I can give you 10 hours a week. I can do, whatever it is completely. And that's the beauty in one way, being self-employed and being able to keep your skill set going. I mean, if you've been let go from work and say you were a supervisor or a leader or whatever it is like that, and you still want to keep those skills, you don't want to lose your skill set. This is a great way then of maintaining that and working and keeping it going.
Now, as you say, this is suitable for beginner, Esther. Can you actually help people price what they're doing as well?
Yes. Yeah, we can, because then we look into their existing skills, whether they're just starting out, it doesn't, also where they are geographically. I mean, this is also open to, because it's an online course, you can be anywhere in the world and take this course. And based on your geographical location, you could be charging different amounts as well. So yeah, and we help them. And like Barbara was saying, if you only have a Friday, let your client know that you're only available on a Friday, because otherwise they'll start messaging you through the week.
Yes, it's customer expectations in every respect, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now, I must ask, is the training live or pre-recorded?
A mixture. It will be a mixture of both.
Okay.
We will have time set aside to say, okay, so for the live training, join us at this time, or join Barbara, or join myself. And so, the rest will then be pre-recorded, so you can nip in and out whenever you want.
And just talking from Esther's perspective here, will this be available in different languages?
Eventually.
So it's just going to be English initially?
For now, it'll just be English, yeah. It will, because Melanie knows that I speak Spanish too, it will be translated and it will be put into Spanish as well.
Yeah, and for those who understand gibberish, she does that too.
I do that very well. Barbara might even translate it into Irish for us. You never know.
Oh, there's a challenge. Mic drop.
That, yes, absolutely is a challenge. Yes, all I'll say is needless to go. So anybody out there listening, there you go.
Melanie and I don't have a clue what that She could have
straight off my head
to us. Were you swearing to us, Barbara?
I don't know.
Okay. So you saw a gap. You know how to fill it. When is this going to be made available, Barbara?
We launch in January. However, there is a certain Black Friday coming up soon, where there is 50% off. And I know Esther has all the information there on that.
Yeah, it'll be from Black Friday to Cyber Monday. So that's the Friday through over the weekend. 50% off your first course with us. And then after that, we might keep doing a few discounts, but you might just have to pay full price after that. So get in early and buy your course. We'll even extend it to your first 2 courses if you want. Just if you mention the Monday Morning Marketing Podcast, we'll extend it to 2 courses.
Cool. That's a bit of free promotion there, isn't it?
Isn't it? I'm covering all bases here right now. Keeping both collaborators happy.
Absolutely.
Okay, well, thanks for explaining your new venture. Not that you haven't got enough to do already, Esther. Barbara, I just can't keep up with what you poke your fingers in. It's just insane. But obviously there is a market for it, and it's just a case of reaching the audience now. And so if we wanted to learn more information about it, because obviously people will want to find more information, where do we look, Barbara?
You can head to the SuperStarVA.com and info and sign up. It'll all be there. I'm tripping over my words, sorry. So that's the SuperStarVA.com.
It's insanely early, so I do appreciate why you're struggling. And is there an email list, Esther?
Yes, right there on the SuperStarVA.com, you'll be able to sign up to our newsletter, and we'll be sending that out as soon as possible. Barbara's going, oh yeah, that's another thing on the list. Must get a VA.
Well, thank you so much, ladies, for telling us about your new venture. Best of luck with it. Obviously, if there's anything I can do to help, let me know.
Thanks very much.
And come back next week for another exciting installment of the Monday Morning Marketing Podcast.
Bye, guys.
See you. Cheerio.